Hey all, Hibber here. So today I'm going to find out something I've been wanting to know for a very long time, and it is if anti-dispersion builds are actually worth the effort in the game here. So to do that, I just set up a training room with my Xbox account and my PlayStation account, one of them at least, and I can then do ship science in peace and quiet. And of course it all revolves around Azur Lane Montpelier here, because she costs money. She costs 5,000 doubloons. And the whole point of this commander is to make use of the anti-dispersion perk that she has. So does it actually help? Does it make a difference? Is this worth speccing into? Let's see. So if you don't know what a full anti-dispersion build is, I'll just go through the build I'm using here. So Azur Lane Montpelier, Bien to give +4 incoming fire dispersion, and Azuma to give another almost 2%, right? And Montpellier's special skill down here, All Out Assault, gives you an additional +10%, right? So of course this is what the commander is about, and I've maxed it completely, and let's see how it does. And of course remember on the ship to switch to the concealment system mod that gives you an additional 5%, and of course camos and all that stuff, but that's on every ship really. And the build I'm testing against is just like a totally normal agile build here. I'm using Beeply. I don't have any dispersion perks at all on the build. You can see it's just a full agile build. On the ship I don't have the concealment mod. I have the steering gears mod, so I don't get the bonus there. I do have the camo, but I mean that's on every ship, so really that shouldn't make any difference. So the whole point now is just to take out a battleship, put the two ships bow to bow, and then just shoot at the Tulsa and see if it makes any difference, right? Of course you have to do this over and over and over until you get some good results, and that's what I've been doing, and I'll share the results with you in this video. Alright, so I'll just show it side by side, and it's the anti-dispersion build to the left and the agile build to the right? And the distance is 10 kilometers, give or take 100 meters, but and then it's all about just shooting at the Tulsa here, and I'm shooting at it bow on to make it as accurate as possible. Same map, same position for the ships, of course the same battleship as well. It's a Marco Polo. So the idea is then to just keep doing this over and over and over until you collect enough data points. And I did it almost 10 battles, per, I think I did 9 battles actually. 9 battles agile and 9 battles anti-dispersion build, and then I noted down the results, and then I'll share it with you here in the end of the video. And as you can see, there really isn't that much difference, at least at a distance of 10 kilometers, and I also tried 15 and stuff like that, and it doesn't make much difference. So these are the results. So this is a Tulsa versus a Marco Polo at 10 kilometer distance, right? And one of the Tulsas has an anti-dispersion build, the first column, and the second column is the agile build. And then of course the difference and the difference in percent. So the amount of pens is actually exactly the same, F11 on average. And it didn't really, I think I had 1 or 2 battles where it was actually not 11. 11 is the number. Same with overpens, it was almost always 7. And then for some reason I got more ricochets with the anti-dispersion build. I think that's just a fluke, but I did get 1 in every battle and none with the agile builds, and I don't know why that happened. That's actually really weird. So that's 100% difference, but I would discount that as just weird. So on average, the amount of salvos from a Marco Polo it takes to sink an anti-dispersion Tulsa is 9. And the amount of salvos from a Marco Polo it takes to sink an agile Tulsa, both bow on, like you saw in the video, is 8. And it's actually about half a salvo, but it's made it easier here. So it takes less salvos to sink the agile ship, which, makes sense, right? Now, what doesn't make sense is that the anti-dispersion build actually receives more hits, pens, overpens, shatters, ricochets on average than the agile build does, which is puzzling to say the least. Actually 5% more hits goes to the anti-dispersion build, which is just very, very strange and like totally unexpected. So if you then use the salvos and the average total hits to, you know, calculate the average hits per salvo, then yes, the anti-dispersion build wins out by 7%, but honestly, that is just not good enough. So really, to put all that effort and, you know, resources into an anti-dispersion build, you will on average survive one more salvo from a battleship, but on average you will receive more hits than a ship that does not spec into this build. So then you can start asking yourself, is it worth it? And does it make sense? And does an anti-dispersion build actually win over the RNG aspect of the game? And here I can resoundingly say, no, it does not. Now, I have been playing with this build for a while, and I actually felt like it was, you know, better than just a pure damage build. But that was obviously confirmation bias, because it's not. It's actually worse. And why would you like use money and resources on this build then? That is a question for Wargaming. And again, this is just a failure on Wargaming's part, really, in making this game a little bit diverse. Because what does this mean for players and the game? Well, it means the absolute usual stuff here, that if you want to do well in this game here, just pop on a full DPM build, damage per minute, damage per second, whatever you want to call it, and go to town. Nothing can really compare with it. And that's just such a shame. I was hoping to get better results out of this anti-dispersion build here, but numbers don't lie, and it's like a little bit better, but compared to the resources you need to invest into it, it's not better. So overall, you're much better off, much better off with just going with one of the standard commanders and just spec into damage. It's super boring, but unfortunately that's the way it is.